I've been privileged to represent the mayor as the mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania for the last 13 years. And Braddock is facing a lot of the same challenges that a lot of neighborhoods and communities in Philadelphia are. Braddock is a community that's overwhelmingly African American. Braddock is a community that has been historically marginalized. Braddock is a community that has been starved of the resources and attention that I always believed that it richly deserved. And during that time, as mayor, we have pushed back and challenged with some of the most difficult and intractable issues that a community can face. You know, when I'm asked, what are you most proud of that you've accomplished during your time as mayor? We stopped murder for 5.5 years in our community. Once was a community racked with violence, is now a safe community. We drove crime down dramatically without any corresponding increase in police complaints, and did in practice an effective community policing model. Our community was devoid of a functioning restaurant within its borders. And today,
60 seconds.
Today there's 4, including one that was just named one of the best new restaurants in America by Food Wine Magazine. I've developed that kind of experience over 13 years, and I'd like to scale it up to the office of Lieutenant Governor. Thank you. You know, I'm a big supporter of sanctuary cities. When I ran for the U.S. Senate in 2016, I was asked by Chris Hayes on MSNBC, you know, your wife's family broke the law. You know, how do you feel about that? And my wife, who's in the audience today, is a former Dreamer. And when her family came, and I said, you know what, Chris, I'm so glad that their family did, because I wouldn't have the incredible family that I have today if they didn't have the courage to do that. We are never more un-American when we are persecuting the Americanness of immigrants, and it's outrageous. And it's despicable that we have a family detention center here in our own Commonwealth in Berks County that imprisons children along with their parents. And we need to step up, we need to stand up for immigrants in this Commonwealth, and I want to be that Lieutenant Governor to be able to say, the second lady of Pennsylvania is a former Dreamer, and I stand with you, and I stand for the safety and security of immigrants, because immigration is what made this country great. Character absolutely matters. It seems to, at least in my opinion, matter less to the other side of the aisle, given who occupies the White House and some of the ethical challenges that our current president is facing. And I personally have bristled at how unjustly that same apparatus judged President Obama, who I believe was an extraordinary president, and criticized him for playing golf while Mr. Trump plays golf every other day, it seems. Michelle Obama's dress, you know, without the sleeves was a scandal, and I won't drag this audience through the scandals plaguing the Trump administration. So I think character absolutely does matter, and it's upsetting to me that the people of color, like the president's Obama's, have been judged by a different standard of what exactly that means. And you see, there's never been in more stark relief than under the current administration. The lack of evangelical condemnation on certain behaviors and conduct, I think there's a double standard here. So character absolutely does matter. I'm proud of our character, but there is a double standard in public life today.
Thank you.
As the mayor of this community in Western Pennsylvania, we saw the opioid crisis grow in front of our eyes, and it's like dumping a bucket of gasoline on a fire that's already burning in terms of destroying the fabric and the social contracts that these communities have with their residents. Last summer, we had a woman inject and then drive off from a parking lot in our community, and she left behind her 7-month-old baby in the car seat. She was that high. We took the child to the police station, and my wife came down and bathed the baby, changed the baby, fed the baby, and not a day has gone by that I haven't thought about what kind of life that child has. We have hosted Narcan trainings at our home. It's an issue that touches us every day. And I support safe injection sites. We need as many comprehensive solutions to this scourge as we possibly can. We can't arrest our way out of it, but I also think it's disappointing that the crack epidemic, it's only when people of color were having the issues we wanted to arrest our way out of it. Today, we're getting the help that we deserve, but it's a shame that it's taken this long in the disparity.
Thank you.
They absolutely do need more money. Our school district struggles with the unfair funding formula, and we in this society have to demand, I think, quality education is a basic fundamental human right, and it should be that way in this Commonwealth. And The other party, the Republicans, are actually campaigning on this idea, saying it's not guaranteed in our Pennsylvania Constitution, so why should we worry about it? And that's absurd. Representing a community of color and seeing the enormous disparities that it puts up, it's disheartening to say the least. But it also is a reflection of just how unequal our society is as a whole. And until we can make our society more just and less inherently unequal the way it is, these kind of wildly divergent outcomes are going to continue. I applaud Philadelphia with the soda tax, providing universal pre-K for all the children across the city. I think that's an outstanding idea. I think we need that kind of innovative approach. I think we need a commitment across the state to make sure that the resources that have been starved, resources just like my own, get the appropriate funding that they need, but we take steps collectively as this Commonwealth to make us a more inclusive and less unequal society. I mean, there's two criminal justice systems, one for African Americans and there's one for more affluent white folks. It's one of those aspects from a criminal justice reform standpoint that the bully pulpit of the Lieutenant Governor could be such a powerful and important tool. The Board of Pardons process is long, it is drawn out, it's intimidating, that must change. I think the process now takes approximately 3 years. We shouldn't have juveniles serving life without parole. That's cruel and unusual punishment. I really have been enjoying watching Larry Krasner, your new district attorney, just take some common sense approaches, like getting rid of police officers that should be testifying, decriminalizing possessions of marijuana, refusing to prosecute those kind of crimes, reducing or eliminating cash bail on a lot of different offenses. You know, we should not ever be in a position where we're warehousing people. We should be in a justice business, and that needs to change. And the platform of the Lieutenant Governor, I think, is very valuable in promoting that, along with streamlining the process for pardons. You know, asking a politician, should we raise taxes, is like asking Dracula, would you like some garlic? You know? But I'm going to have the courage to say that we probably need to. You know, do you want better schools? Then that costs money. If you are tired of hitting gigantic potholes, you know, we probably need more money to fix that. One of the things that I definitely know we need to do is we need to be legalizing marijuana, recreational marijuana in our state, and taking it out of the shadows, removing the unjust prosecution of people of color using it, and use that revenue for whatever it is the state we decide to do. I mean, there's still low-hanging fruit, and that also goes with an extraction tax for shale. Should we make these investments in our infrastructure and our people? Absolutely. Could that involve raising taxes? Absolutely. But we are leaving money on the table as a Commonwealth, and that needs to stop, and I would want to champion those things if I was your next Lieutenant Governor. Fracking is an established part of the Pennsylvania energy economy and portfolio. I do not support its expansion. I don't support it in areas like our national forests. I don't support it in untouched green areas and places like that. You know, most importantly, if we are the Saudi Arabia of natural gas, we need to have the most comprehensive and extensive environmental controls, and we currently don't have that under the current environmental protection. We need to have the best environmental controls to make sure that the environmental impact is at a minimum. And most importantly, if this is going to be our resource that's extracted, we as the state need to tax that, and we need to have the tangible benefits of the industry of producing the revenue in order for us to use that and reinvest it in whatever we as a Commonwealth choose to.